Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If you're brand new, yay, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And if you're a subscriber, you probably wondered, where is Trina, our movie review mom? I actually went out of town to go see the big solar eclipse and it was amazing. Anyway, I'm back and my virtual assistant, who was out of town for almost a month, is also back. So now the reviews are starting to come back in fast and furiously. So yay, because normally I post videos every single day to keep you updated on what's going on streaming as well as in movie theaters. So finally, I'm catching up. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Roadhouse. This action slash drama is now playing exclusively on Amazon Prime. It is definitely rated R for the violence. It's 2 hours and 1 minute long. And my overall movie review mom grade is a B. I actually got a kick out of this movie, and I think I liked it a lot more than most other film critics. So let me give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like. I'll offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and we'll end up with recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also really like if you like this one, or vice versa. If you like those, then you might like this one. All right, so in a nutshell, Patrick Swayze, oh, we miss him, right? He's the one who starred in the original Roadhouse movie and created such a charismatic character. The direct to DVD sequel in 2006 was called Roadhouse 2 Last Call, and I never saw that one. This remake of the first one is about an ex UFC fighter who takes a job as a bouncer at a roadhouse in the Florida Keys, only to discover that this paradise is not all that it seems. Now, there are obviously, because I said Florida Keys, this is going to be different than the original, based on location alone. The fight flick was directed by Doug Liman. Writing credits go to Anthony Bagarossi, Chuck Mundry, and R. Lance Hill. Already, the film has been nominated for the Audience Award at the SXSW Film Festival. So if you're in the mood for a movie filled with bar brawls, this one's for you. Let me give you quick tips for parents. There is a ton of bloody, brutal fight scenes. There is profanity and a million F-bombs. We see the naked backside of a man twice, lots of destruction, and people die. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are greed, anger, control, and past mistakes. However, there were a lot of things I really liked about this movie. So first of all, woo, Jake Gyllenhaal. He looks fantastic. And what is he, like 3% body fat of twisted steel? Wow, he looks amazing. And he's such a fantastic actor as well. He always picks such interesting, flawed characters. And in this movie, he wears a goofy, easygoing grin, but his eyes simmer with lethal anger. He takes a serious beating in this movie. He trained with Jason Walsh to get ready for his lethal role as a ex-UFC fighter. Some of the scenes were filmed during the actual UFC 285 event. The director said that this was one of Jake Gyllenhaal's best performances ever. Now, I love Patrick Swayze, but Jake's carved and ripped physique kind of made Patrick look like a bit of a marshmallow. Now, of course, he wasn't, but I'm just saying, in comparison, and I keep talking about his physical appearance, that he definitely used this physicality that I don't know that we've ever seen quite before. I thought he did a terrific job. The believable cast includes Billy Magnuson, Joaquin de Almeida, Arturo Castro, B.K. Cannon, Dominique Columbus, Daniela Melchior, and more. I got a big kick out of the over-the-top performance that Conor McGregor gives in this movie. He is, in real life, an Irish mixed martial artist who competes in the featherweight division of the UFC, although there is nothing feathery about this guy. This is his film debut, and he is such a beast. I read some reviews that said Conor McGregor ruined the movie, but he dominated the screen in every scene that he was in a good way, I thought. I just thought it was fun entertainment. And then you could tell he was not taking his character seriously, that he was just having fun with it. We get to hear some fun, lively music by Rockin' Dopsy Brothers, a live band from Lafayette, Louisiana. I finally got to go to Key West for the very first time a few years ago and loved it. The blue water and the reefs are so gorgeous there. So it was really fun using that as the backdrop for this film. And wow, what an intense crocodile. We learned that crocs hide their food too. And you'll understand that when you watch the movie. There's an enjoyable amount of spoken and visual humor, much more than the original movie, I thought. The movie poster is awesome. The filmmakers claim to create a new multi-pass technique to make the fight sequences look more realistic. And they definitely look different from typical fight choreography. Some viewers will probably defend the original movie, but they have to admit that the fight sequences are so much better in this remake. The set design team built the Roadhouse from scratch and did such a great job that it held up during Hurricane Fiona in the Dominican Republic in 2022, where they filmed portions of this movie. I appreciate that this version is not as sex crazed as the original movie was. There were so many topless women and sex scenes in that one. And in fact, this new one is downright clean in that regard. There's a little romance, but I'm trying to even remember if they even kissed. I don't think so. And I appreciate that. It really was about the Roadhouse, violent drama, fight sequences, and that kind of thing. One of the characters describes what's happening in the story as a Western movie. And in many ways, it is, the saloon bar fights. So keep watching during the final rolling credits for some crazy highlights with some cool slow motion effects and another funny scene. Now, with all of that praise, there were I don't know, just a few things that I didn't like or thought could have been done better or differently. For example, the villains in the movie are really just like cartoon characters. And if you are looking at this as a serious drama, then you'll probably take it that way. But if you look at it as just a fun, silly, over the top movie, then I think you might get a kick out of that. Some of the dialogue, however, is just silly. For example, this one quote, "You're going to kill me now? I thought we had to be friends first." I don't know. I just thought that that was kind of lame. Some of the fans of the original movie won't really like the changes that have been made to the remake, but I watched them both one day after the next. And honestly, I prefer this new one. Now, some people will just say, oh, that's terrible. The first one was the best, whatever. I just thought for what it was just good fun. Whereas in the first movie, it seemed like the movie took itself more seriously. All right, so I will share some funny lines and interesting lines with you. Whenever I watch movies, I take down notes simply so you can get a taste and feel for the dialogue and the script writing quality and all of that. And so there's a line spoken by Jessica Williams' character, and she says, "Imagine having a drink right there with somebody special, You could even get married there, divorced too. Then you could come back and drown your sorrows." I mean, it's a whole circle of life thing. So this character's name is Frankie, and she owns this Roadhouse bar. And she's a character like all of the people in this movie are, actually. Now, another character is mentioning, how crazy things can get. And so he swears, and I don't swear. So he just says, bleep, happens. Only here, it always happens on a beautiful day. And as I mentioned, it's such a joy to just be in Key West for, an hour and a half or however long this movie was. "People seem a little aggressive around here" is a line that's spoken by Jake Gyllenhaal. No kidding. And then he says at another point, "Why all the fuss? I mean, I'm just some guy." Because he's coming in as the stranger into this city and everybody's losing their minds about how awesome he is. All right, so then there's another conversation that Jake Gyllenhaal's character is having with this scummy guy. And this guy says, looky here, our own little octagon. And then Jake Gyllenhaal's character says, what? Who taught you shapes? You know, because some of these knuckleheads are just idiots. Anyway, and then there are some interesting lines. For example, Jake Gyllenhaal is having a conversation with somebody and they're like, oh, you know, you're going to win this fight. And he says, no one ever wins a fight. And I love that. And that's partially why Jake Gyllenhaal's character is so cool and calm and collected, because he kind of sees the bigger picture here. He's there to do a job, but he's just very, I don't know if I would say laid back about it, but he's not hot headed. That's probably the difference between him and all of the villains in the movie. They just fly off the handle, whereas he kind of thinks about it. You can kind of see him thinking about it before he says something. And then another thing that Jake Gyllenhaal says as he's talking about how pearls are made, he says extreme irritation leads to something beautiful. And he's also referring to himself in that comment. Now, let me recommend 3 films that I instantly thought of because they're Jake Gyllenhaal movies. I've been such a fan of his for years. And so if you haven't seen these and you like him, definitely check them out. So the first one is called Prisoners, and it is definitely a drama, and Jake Gyllenhaal definitely shows us his dramatic beats. And then another one is Jarhead, where he's a military guy, and there's some physicality involved with that, but there's a lot of intense scenes. And then one of my favorite movies of Jake Gyllenhaal is The Covenant. He does such a great job and shows us such a huge range from physicality to internal emotions and a variety of emotions as well. Anyway, just a fantastic movie made even better by Jake Gyllenhaal. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. And when you get a minute, be sure and like the video and subscribe and spread the YouTube love all over my channel, because it really does help my channel to grow. I appreciate your support. If my reviews are helpful, then run over to Instagram and like me there as Movie Review Mom or Trina Boice, and where you can also see all of my books and my online courses and products and shenanigans. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.